between See You Soon versus BIGETRON Alpha.
Let's just see how bright the light at the end of the tunnel is for See You Soon. Will this lineup be enough to force a game number 3 against BIGETRON Alpha? Again, it's all about the execution, but it all begins with the draft, something that you made a big point about earlier, Stafa. What do you feel about See You Soon's draft?
Well, it definitely feels more complete this time. It gives them the option to play front to back, or if they want, they can actually still lean into the same sort of scrappy style we saw from them in game number 1, right? If you can turn the robots themselves into scrap metal, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable for you going forward, but they need to be able to hit those timings. The fact that they have Joy Zusin and Iritel means that they're actually lacking a lot of early game burst, and that's a timing BIGETRON can take advantage of.
Let's see how aggressive BIGETRON will be to delay the eventual burst that will come in on the hands of the Joy. And of course, when Lucas hits level 4 and maybe gets his first item locked in, still nothing too crazy happening except in the bottom lane already. Super Ken forcing Nomad behind that tower, and he is going to be dropping a minion or two up against Eman. But See You Soon with the assist already. Shadow kill committed. Super Ken a little bit too deep. Gets caught out by Ryzen and Branteezy.
Yeah, a bit too greedy there from Super Ken. I like the rotation into the gold lane to try and help Eman win out lane priority, but you used your quad shadow to achieve that and then stuck around to farm the camp. You know that Ryzen is going to be reaching this side of the map at this point in time, so you gotta be able to weigh the pros and cons, and there you got punished for not being able to do so.
Well, you can say the Super Ken got to reset his position, but I prefer to not see him give up that kill. But he is here. He is getting his purple buff. Ryzen will be nearby, has a level gap against Super Ken, but he will be hitting level 5 once he gets this purple buff secured. But it looks like they're not going to be contesting for that turtle. And See You Soon, I don't think they've read the situation just yet. The Super Ken does not want to take it.
Yeah, See You Soon is not quite as good at holding neutral objectives in comparison. They're more of a counter-engaged comp, ideally wasting resources on BIGETRON, especially that heavy spin and RWM before they enter with heroes like the Joy, right? And Achira is going to be a very good way of scouting out bushes and keeping control of the frontliners to make sure that See You Soon can play a slightly slower team fight, which, as you can see now, BIGETRON has a bit more difficulty looking for angles of entry compared to before.
Iritel spots the Hayabusa, but See You Soon are still hesitating. Branteezy goes in, already forcing out his Revitalize just so he can survive the pokes that he got. He jumps out. Avatar of Guardian does not catch Ken. Knocked back by Luke with a heavy spin. And Super Ken, despite that long process, still goes in and gets the turtle. But See You Soon gets a kill onto Light.
Very suspicious decision-making happening here in
Oh,
bot lane.
Eman and Nomad, will Nomad be able to take him? No, a Super Ken gets him.
Yeah, suspicious decision-making from See You Soon. I like that they're taking it slow to take advantage of Zusi. Oh, Ryzen!
Able to punish. Commits a flicker out of Eman. Eman under tower, but Ryzen doesn't mind. Luke is able to actually get a kill onto Nijas. Up top, Branteezy gonna get caught out. He's trying to walk away. He doesn't have his Revitalize, but is able to spell vamp just a little bit. Moreno with the pokes. Branteezy and See You Soon gets away.
Yeah, See You Soon needs to be more active like this. I do like what they're doing. Now Ryzen being able to pick up another kill on Eman this time is going to be huge, because now this Joy is genuinely a core that they can play around. But I think from the past 2 games we've been able to see a big issue with Branteezy is that he's just a bit too trigger happy. There is no reason to use your AOG like that. Hayabusa can definitely get past it. You should have positioned it a little further in front of him to just cut him off from the mid push. Instead, it just ended up not really contributing to anything. And then, even though See You Soon had control of the turtle way earlier than BIGETRON and knew Super Ken was on bot side, he still came by to pick it up.
Despite everything that has happened, you can definitely say that See You Soon playing a little bit better in this one.
Yeah.
Not as clean as we would prefer, but definitely a much stronger fighting spirit from them here and a much stronger sense of execution. Avatar of Guardian is going to get committed. Eman just able to get past it, but Super Ken finds a Chira in the back. Branteezy was trying to help and defend his gold laner, but in turn sacrificed the mid. Ryzen sees Light. Light flickers away. No electrifying beats. It was already committed.
I don't think Light should have quicksand guarded in that specific spot, but it's fine since he's still able to get out, though it does end up wasting a flicker. Brantisi again, using the AOG a bit too early. I like that he's trying to cut off Eman from his escape, but you should know that he can just easily dash over the wall from that position.
Oh, Luke with a flicker, heavy spin alongside the real world manipulation finds a Ryzen easily, and it looks like a massive win is on the way for BIGETRON Alpha. Brantisi walks out, Nijas unleashes the beast, and BIGETRON Alpha forces him back as they will get this turtle without a problem.
And Light continuing to zone out the rest of CU soon, so Superken can get it with even a less issue overall. We actually talked about this before the game started, Renmar. You highlighted how you were wondering why some EXP lane Akais would go for the Flicker over the Revitalize. I think that was the clearest example of why it can be good. The aggressive play, catching out Ryzen, removing the Joy before the fight even starts. If the turtle wasn't easy enough, it just became free for BIGETRON there. So really good call by Luke to get things started. And this is why BIGETRON does put some emphasis onto this Panda.
Yep, the surprise factor. Not the first time we saw him do it. We saw a very iconic one yesterday when they faced off against Team Liquid Indonesia. Same thing. Flicker, heavy spin, surprise, and Moreno already real world manipulation. He doesn't care that he's under or close to the tower as Rising gets spotted out by BIGETRON Alpha. That's 2 down. Nomad falls down as well. The main sources of damage gone, but Nija's trying to get something. Moreno gets taken out, but it's just Moreno. As CU soon loses 2, might be a third if Nija doesn't get away. Luke, heavy spin under tower to get away, uses the headbutt dash as well to get himself free.
A very worthy trade there for BIGETRON Alpha, with Moreno going for a very aggressive RWM positioning, willing to sacrifice his life to set up for more objectives and kills. BIGETRON were able to get 2 towers and a kill on the jungler and gold lane for that, while only trading their own mid lane to do it. You can see how scattered CU Soon was because they were not prepared for this kind of call. BIGETRON, the synergy, while isn't the cleanest yet, you can see is really slowly building up over the course of this challenge finals. And CU Soon, they got a lot of catching up to do.
BTR are pushing CU Soon back. Superken almost took down Achira single-handedly, committing his ultimate, but Achira was way too deep in his own base. Superken decided to back off, but BTR continued to take towers and control of the map. From what was a better start compared to game number 1, CU Soon now finds themselves in a familiar, uncomfortable territory. Luke uses the heavy spin, still able to catch up Brantisi, but the follow-up is not going to be enough as the counterplay by CU Soon is here, but BIGETRON Alpha's lead is just way too much. But SYS still able to get Emman and Luke down, with Ryzen coming in late just at the right time.
Yeah, actually not a bad counter engage at all coming in from CU Soon. They covered every single angle to punish BIGETRON for pushing too far up in the bot lane. And now they're looking for Light.
Light looks like he's going to be the next victim of CU Soon, of finding the counter punish. Now a killing spree for Achira. And CU Soon, it looked bad, but now they have a chance. They just really need to be careful and time things out.
Yeah, they gotta capitalize on this though. They have managed to force scrappiness from BIGETRON by hiding in places they wouldn't expect and going in on off-tempo timings to punish with their ultimates. Ryzen has finally picked up his Holy Crystal as well. So this is now actually a huge opportunity for them, since they've been able to regain a little bit of that map control. They cannot afford to give BIGETRON more space here, and this Lord, they can actually afford to give it away if it's in exchange for more resources elsewhere.
30k to 25k, or getting close to that. This is still within reach of actually forcing a defense here. You just really have to be careful and not lose it. It's going to be risky, but we've seen teams more often than not around this time, if it's just a 5k, 4k difference, they're willing to take it. But Achira gets caught out, able to get out just in time, as the ultimate of the Hayabusa is not going to be able to take down that juice in. The fight has broken out as Ryzen already using the electrifying beats to get away. Nija goes in as he gets taken down by Emman. You see Ryzen getting taken out by Emman as well. A double kill for the gold laner. CU Soon are still dancing to the Sonata of Emman, but Ryzen counters it, takes down Superken, but with him down as well, that is a Lord for BTR still.
Man, I actually want a... Achira! This Zusin is so squishy at this point. you can see just how much damage BIGETRON has under their belt. But I personally want a highlight cam specifically on Super Ken in that fight alone. His ultimate chunked out 2 people, then he kept jumping in and out to chunk out 2 more all by himself. And
Oh, what a reposition by Light! Using the flicker to go to the left, but he gets punished, even though he committed the Raging Sandstorm. A little bit too eager, and see you soon, we're ready to capitalize.
That is a little bit jumping the gun there from Light. I like the idea. The execution was great as well, but See You Soon is actually in position to block off the rest of the DPSs from following up on it. So because of that, BIGETRON actually lack the numbers now, and since it's only the first Lord of the game, they are not going to be able to get an inhibitor from this one.
Still a 2-level gap between the junglers. Super Ken is at 15, Horizon at 13. Item-wise, though, do you think this is enough, or does he need one more Horizon?
I personally think we're gonna need to see a little bit more here. Super Ken just picked up BOD though, so
Yeah.
if he wasn't already doing a ton of damage before, he's gonna be hitting even harder now. So Emma, mistake!
He gets caught out, and now See You Soon are going in for the chase, but Nomad took a lot of damage. Super Ken committing the shadow kill, takes down Achira, and See You Soon have built an advantage that they can't seem to capitalize on. The heavy spin by Luke, and the real-world manipulation by Moreno. We talked about chemistry, we talked about timing, and BTR looks perfect in that regard.
Emma definitely made a mistake by walking too far forward and getting pulled into the tower there, but the rest of his team was ready to make up for all of that, and Luke
Goes in with the knock-up, and with the Irithel able to punish. This might be too deep, but Nomad gets taken out. He goes with a double kill, but with Achira and Branteezy remaining, Eman will not be enough to end it by himself. BIGETRON Alpha looked like they were a little bit too excited.
Excited is, I think, an accurate way of describing what happened there. They really should not have gone that deep. They already managed to recuperate the loss of Eman's mistake, and then suddenly they decide to all throw their bodies into the tower as well. Eman in trouble, actually.
And he looks like he's gonna get caught out. Oh, but no, he escapes, commits a flicker, but here comes Horizon, electrifying beats. He finds the Granger, and just like that, See You Soon, they might be able to win this, as they now have a much better start for themselves in this upcoming Lord.
And you can see just how quickly momentum can swing the moment you make a single mistake. BIGETRON, they should not have dived so deep. Even losing Eman wasn't actually that big a deal until the rest of them decided to join him in the afterlife and basically award free money to See You Soon. The net worth difference now is basically 0. You can look at the gold graph and how quickly it has swung thanks to 2 consecutive deaths on their gold laner. Now they're gonna contest the Lord.
Super Ken, somehow, some way, can it go his way as Branteezy, what a read, finds Super Ken, a knock up by the Lord. Luke is actually taking Ryzen out of the equation, but Nomad gets taken out by Eman. He is able to take down the Eve, but Ryzen gets taken down, or excuse me, Ryzen takes down Luke. Still an advantage for See You Soon, but they're lacking the damage as big ticket ultimates are out of their hands.
Ooh, these fights are messy. It's really messy, and I don't actually like it very much. I feel like there's too much reactiveness happening here, where basically the cores on both sides are being completely separated. There is actually no formation to the team fights at all. We talked about how See You Soon actually wants to play scrappy, so the fact that they're forcing BIGETRON to adapt to it is actually really, really good. BIGETRON should be the ones in control here. They got so many more tools to prevent See You Soon from splitting them up apart, and they're just kind of lowering themselves to playing the same sort of game, which they're actually a little less equipped for.
The unique Cambodian flair of their MLBB playstyle. When it's going good, it is so annoying to go up against, because all rhyme and reason goes away and you're going up against a team filled with players who just love the thrill of the fight. Looking at the items, is there anything that's standing out that might be the turnaround?
Looking at the itemization, War Axe last item for Eman here, so very much intending to respond in terms of team fighting. Otherwise, nothing too unusual. See you soon controlling the Lord again, but they're taking a lot of poke damage.
Yeah, they're already poked down really low. This might be very dangerous for them. Nomad in the back. Nijas goes in already. AOG, but it's gonna be avoided. BIGETRON Alpha looks like they might be able to run away with this as Super Ken wins the retry. Ryzen wasn't in the right spot. They took too much poke and they lost their footing and slipped yet again. Ryzen takes down Luke, but it looks like he's up next to the chopping block, but he takes down Light. He can still fight, but can they actually stop this? The minions crashing in. BIGETRON Alpha looking to take the win. Are they still programmed to do it? As Ryzen with electrifying beats stops Eman. The Winter Crown by Moreno taunting him. Eman takes down Ryzen. The Granger still lives. The War Axe coming in at the clutch, but it's not over yet. There is still a Lord for See You Soon to deal with.
Okay, BIGETRON needed to be the ones taking command of the fight to make sure that See You Soon isn't forcing them into scrappy positions. And that's exactly what happened around the Lord. They were the ones to take initiative and capture them one by one. See You Soon made the mistake of trying to continue the fight. But then after that, BIGETRON speak for their bridges. I like that Light stayed behind to try and stop Ryzen from catching up, even sacrificing his life to make sure that he wouldn't be able to recall in time, but I think he overestimated his durability against a late game Joy. And because of that, See You Soon are actually still holding at this point. Their late game scaling has kicked in. They actually can put up a solid team fight here. So despite them definitely being on the back foot in terms of structures, they can actually still take this if BIGETRON is not careful.
We have to recognize and acknowledge that Branteezy has not died this entire game.
He
is
hasn't?
1-0 and 12.
Wow.
Night and day performance, again, not the cleanest entries and usages of the Avatar of Guardian, but he survived and made the most out of all the situations that he found himself in or made for himself. Deathless is the roamer that struggled in game number 1. See You Soon still sees the light at the end of the tunnel. But how will they get it? Where do they get it from?
I do think that they still have to play a little bit more patiently, but keep themselves active to scout out the movements of BIGETRON Alpha. I think BIGETRON have realized now that they're the ones that need to start the fights themselves. They gotta pay attention to where See You Soon is, and if resources come out early, then they're the ones that can start by initiating. I really like the timing that Luke went in with the heavy spin as well to zone Ryzen off the Lord so that Super King could get it easily. But because he committed it to zoning rather than catching, there was no other tool for BIGETRON to lock down the Joy anymore. That's why he went so far, got so many kills, and basically stopped BIGETRON's attempt to end the game by himself. So if See You Soon actually hold on to their resources a little bit longer, they can continue to force BIGETRON in these situations and then come in when they're exhausted.
Looks like a contention for this Lord might be too difficult, too tall a task. BIGETRON Alpha are melting it already. Ryzen close enough, but the other members of See You Soon are not in the right spot. Might be a little bit too risky to actually contest this, and they let it go. Knock up by the Lord. He just got the info, but See You Soon says, we will wait, and we will try to hold out in the next push.
That Lord knockup was actually kind of scary for BIGETRON.
Yeah, right? If
Super
Ryzen
Ken
was
getting
there.
knocked up there was really bad. If Ryzen was close enough, 100% See You Soon would have stolen it, but luckily for BIGETRON, they're still able to secure that. And now it's going to be a 5v5 base defense for See You Soon, but this is an 18-minute Lord, so it's not going to be an easy one.
Is it too tall of an ask for See You Soon to hold out? Maybe even push out if they can defend really well, but Ninja's already brought down so low. Avatar of Guardian is big, but the damage is bigger. Coming in from BIGETRON. The members of See You Soon are still holding on, but Ninja's already taken down. Achira takes down Luke. The counterplay is there, but Ryzen gets taken out by Super Ken. And BIGETRON, they still have the Lord. They have 3 against 3. You can count the Lord in there, but you can count it out. Nomad already brought low. He's still able to free it. He takes down Moreno. He sidesteps
Super
the
Ken!
Sandstorm. Super Ken can stay. He can try, but he will fall. But the minions, will it be enough? Can Light end it?
Minions!
He does it, but the minions end it for the red robots.
The Winions of BIGETRON Alpha came up, and that is quite a game.